What is going on, guys? Welcome to my first ever YouTube vlog, being 12 weeks out from my first show. Just gonna take you through my morning. So I like to get up around 5:30-ish to start my days off nice and early, get my workout over and done with. I start out by weighing myself in the morning with minimal clothing on after using the washroom to get a nice average weigh-in. Here's a little physique update for you guys. Right now, sitting at a really good spot. Legs still need to come in a little bit more. For my pre-workout meal, I'll typically have 2 rice cakes with either yogurt or a protein shake. I was just about to head to the gym just to have some pre-workout. I've been typically having the batch 27. It's quite a high caffeine or quite high in stimulants, but I only have either 1 scoop of pre-workout or 1 cup of coffee per day. I've been trying to reduce my stimulants this prep. But yeah, I'm gonna put a scoop of that in there and also some Himalayan salt. Especially with being in competition prep, my blood pressure is quite on the lower side now. So this is just gonna help increase my blood pressure, help me get better pumps in the gym. So yeah, so we're gonna put a scoop of this in. I typically don't use a full scoop. I use about maybe 3/4 of a scoop, like about that. And then for the Himalayan salt, I'll just do a couple cranks. And that's it. So this is my second upper body day for this week. It's actually a deload week for me right now, but my coach has me training still with a good amount of intensity for 4 days, but I'm currently on a 5-day per week split. So we're just taking one of those days and just having a rest day instead to reduce the fatigue that way. So this has been my primary upper chest compound movement. It has been feeling really good, or it was feeling really good at the start. It is starting to feel a little bit more stale towards the end of this training block, so I'll probably be switching it out over time. With this set, I had about, I think 2-3 repetitions in reserve as it was my first set. On this second set, I was training to about an RPE of 9-ish, so only 1 repetition in reserve. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm probably going to switch this movement out for more of a machine press. I find with this one, there is a little bit more stability with it as I'm getting a little bit more leg drag. So there is a little bit more fatigue with this movement. So I'll probably just switch it out for an inclined machine press and see how that feels instead. So after this movement, I went right into an upper back pull down essentially. This is still going to target your lats nicely, but I'm leaning back just a little bit more, just to bias more of the mid kind of lats here. But I found with this one here, I've been getting a little bit of an issue with the left shoulder in terms of the retraction of the scapula and everything. I can see a little bit of asymmetry on both sides, so I just gotta be sure that I'm stretching out the lats a bit more and just making sure everything is engaged properly before going into that movement. Next movement is going to be the chest fly. So I really love this one for the sternal head. With the pec deck machine, I like to bring my hips or my butt a little bit further forward on the pad, keep my chest nice and tall and get a really deep stretch at the bottom. You will notice with all my movements, I have a very controlled eccentric phase, as the eccentric portion of the movement is going to be the most important for muscle hypertrophy. And from an injury standpoint, typically I've found in the past anyway, having a bit of a longer eccentric with a slight pause at the bottom has felt a lot more comfortable for my joints. Everybody doesn't have to specifically train like that, but for me, it's been working out very nicely, and loading up and having a lot of control in that very stretched position is also very good for muscle hypertrophy. This next movement is really good for, it's more of like a lower back row. I'm really focusing on driving my elbows down towards my hips, getting a nice deep stretch at the bottom of the range of motion. Again, with this one, I'm still focusing on nice and controlled eccentric, still trying to get some explosiveness with the concentric phase. But yeah, After that, I went into the lateral raise with the cable machine. I like using the ankle cuff around my wrist, as it's gonna take my forearm strength completely out of it and put it all on the shoulder. I still like to squeeze my hand a little bit too. I find it just feels more comfortable that way for some reason. But I like a nice staggered stance with this one, keeping the core engaged. Think about scooping out and up. And yeah, same thing with this one, a nice controlled tempo down. My striation, especially in my shoulders, you can see it a lot more than other muscle groups, but I'm hoping over time I can get it so I have those striations in my quads, in my glutes, in my hamstrings as well. Yeah. Next movement was the single arm tricep extension. I really love the single arm one where I'm hinging slightly forward and getting a very deep stretch in that tricep. So bringing that forearm all the way into that bicep and then fully extending at the bottom. This handle is actually a very good handle as well. I find in terms of grip strength and stuff like it feels really comfortable. Whereas a lot of cable machines, it just has like the little ball, or you have to use like a different handle. I'll show you what this handle looks like after this set is done. But yeah, as you can see there, it's got more of like a triangle shape, but it's very comfortable when you are doing like push downs and stuff like that. Shout out to Iron Nation for having that piece of equipment or that handle there. They got a shitload of awesome equipment there. So if you are in Kelowna and you really want to check out, I highly recommend checking out that facility if you are into bodybuilding or if you're a high level athlete. This one's another great one for the brachialis. Again, hinging slightly forward, staggered stance, keeping the chest nice and tall, and then full extension at the bottom, and then full flexion at the top, trying to keep that elbow set in place. Yeah, here's a little bit of posing to finish off this video. I couldn't get the best angle, but you can kind of see more so my upper body, a little bit of my upper quads here. Front pose has been looking really good for me. I still gotta adjust a couple things with the side poses and the front double biceps. But yeah, definitely upper body is in a good spot. Lower body is starting to come in. My back pose here is pretty solid as well. I do notice a little bit of asymmetry from side to side, so I just gotta watch that everything is nice and symmetrical. Yeah, and that's just gonna take time with practice here. Yeah, and then the next quarter turn. I find one quarter turn always looks different than the other. I feel like so many of us have a little bit of tightness on one side compared to the other one rotating. And then here comes the front double bicep. So this one, I'm still thinking about maybe trying having a little bit of a twist and having a little bit of, having my hips shifted to one side with the front double bicep, and maybe even trying to flex my abs a little bit and maybe see if that's going to give me a better look, because genetic wise I do have quite prominent abs. The lat spread has always been a little bit an issue for me, but I'm starting to be able to open it up a little bit wider. I just got to focus on bringing the chest up. And then the side chest pose here, I think this one will be a pretty good one for me, and same with the side tricep. So that's all I got for you guys today. Stay tuned for my next video, as I will be posting these once per week.